link, it takes me into one of the browsers.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn to use the, which I think I'm using online, the client right now. I don't see when I press the window, it's giving me a zoom bar at the top.
Right.
How's your morning going so far? Mine has been eventful, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, you know, got to deal with the daily scams.
Oh my Jesus, you got no clue, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, this vulture capitalism is just, it's
scary, to say the least.
It is. I mean, you know, so many people can't, I don't know, they just, they can't access things, so their resort is stealing, you know, or, you know, predatory type of activities, you know. I don't know. I guess people, I really don't know what the issue is, but I don't know, maybe it's education. I mean, the world is so complicated. I guess, you know, you just got to know so much to be able to extract the resources that you need.
I don't think it's that complicated. I think it's a function of people are just, people's moral aptitude is completely gone. People are morally bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt.
Well, I was hoping you had a better answer.
You gonna put some rum in your coffee?
Goddamn daughter drank all last of my Grand Marnier.
Oh man, that's completely
man, it was brand new.
Oh
and
no!
I had only had like 2 shots out of it, like one every Friday night.
That's how I do it. I give me a night and it'll last forever.
Yeah. So I got my lips all ready and shit.
Wait, what's going on, man?
Man.
How's that situation going? Any you got some resolution?
No, I'm still pissed. So.
As you should be. As you should be. Justifiably so.
I'm still pissed, so I can't
you ain't ready to deal with it.
Yeah, I can't deal with it.
You gotta get to the point where you get out your emotions so you can do it in the wisdom way. Right.
Which is why it might not be till after I move. So
there you go.
Might not be till after I move because I don't, I'm still too emotionally wrapped up in it and still too pissed off at this point.
But that's wisdom. There's a thing that says when you're not wise to speak when you're mad enough to choke.
That's a good one right there.
Not wise, just be cool. A couple things I wanted to touch on. I looked at the Trello board and tried to discern what your some of your contact cards were in regards to how you were considering doing formatting. And did you have an idea of time? Was it 30, 45 minutes, or you're just going to kind of let it go? What they've proven is short. I mean, it can be different playlists within the channel that touch on different things. Like it could be a trading content. I mean, the more content, the better. We can do micro content, and then we can do extended content.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like I went and looked at some stuff. I posted it in the pre-production. There was a link for like 20 pre-production steps for video content and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. This is Trello.
Yeah, and then YouTube's got this creators channel, so I don't really know. That sounds good to me. It's like, we just, get out a block of time, just for bullshit, and then move into, for the next segment, let's talk about scams in the hood.
There you go. There you go. It could be hangouts.
Yeah.
Right, hangouts. And probably gonna write this down while our brains are in this space.
Yeah.
Hangouts. Trading. There'll be some cerebral people who are interested in trading topics.
Yeah. Like the show that I uploaded from yesterday, I tagged it with Hyperwave, JPM Coin, and Ripple.
I got you.
That's all I can remember that we were talking about. So, so for today's show, I'll scam that with, YouTube pre-production, video production, whatever.
I got you. Just getting in the habit of uploading, getting in there.
Yeah, getting in there.
Sequence.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've seen, I watch a bunch of shows, and so some people do that. Some people like drill down on one particular topic. Sometimes they go through the news to pick out like what's important.
Well, the best way to do it from an efficiency standpoint, because repetition creates process creates efficiency. So the best way to do it is say we're going to carve out an hour from this time to this time. And in that time span, we're going to spend 10 minutes on this, 10 minutes on this, 15 on this, 30 on this. Then we go in and chop it up, or we just say cut. Or we just know from 2 minutes between segments, we're cutting and then we're going into a new topic. And that's when we'll just start all over. And that's just a function of editing.
Right. Yeah. Or we can go to the phones. Next caller.
There you go. Or have people submit questions, because that would be the optimum thing, getting to a place where we have a live feed, whether it be on Periscope, which I see a lot of people using now, set up a Rise and Grind Twitter /Periscope account where people can actually chime in the live chat.
Right. Well, if see, that's something I don't know. If you're we got a player. I don't know if you can do that with YouTube.
You can't. You can't. There's no live. You can do a live broadcast, but you don't get the live interaction from viewers. That may not be right. I think I've seen a live chat feed with people. I don't know how interactive it was in regards to people chiming in or people, but I think I have seen that, and because I was watching Tone Vay one day, and he said, "I'm just turning off the live feed because people are trolling."
Yeah, I think since you're on the channel, let me see. I think
we just have to try it out. We just have to hit the record button and try it out.
Yeah, we could try it tomorrow, because if I go to YouTube Studio and I go live, create a video or a post, live stream, right? I can live stream now. So, but what I don't know is if I can add you to it.
Okay, let's try it out. I get on YouTube.
Well, see, right. So I'm in here now. But see, it's telling me to use video encoding software. So what I'm wondering is how do you engage with the YouTube chat as you're talking? Cause like with OBS, hold on, let me show it to you. Let me see. Let's see. Where's the desktop share? So if I start this up right now, right, I can start streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll pump that into YouTube.
Okay.
And
why would you use OBS as opposed to YouTube? Because you have more control over the stream?
Well, I can add things. Like I can, it just gives you a, because you can capture stuff from different sources.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can have another camera on. I can have all these other windows open.
I got you.
And then I can bring that up on the screen. You know, so it's kind of different. But I'm thinking that the Zoom, if I get the package, the plans and pricing,
recording, custom person ID, 1 gigabyte RAM, cloud recording, extra cloud recording storage,
and video webinar. See, I'm thinking it's this one, the $19 one.
Van URL, managed domain, single sign-in, company branding, custom email, LAI integration, cloud recording, transcript document. I just think we should monetize before we start getting into contractual stuff. I think we should figure out, get some traction with the free stuff.
Right. Well, what I'm trying to figure out is like, so like when I watch other people's shows, there's 3 or 4 people there, and then there's a live chat going on at the same time, and then some of these people are getting donations as they're chatting.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand what software they're using to do that.
Okay, there's a couple out there. Give me the name of it. Was it Ustream? I think I sent you this one. I'm looking at my bookmarks. 1 second. So from a layout standpoint, what were you thinking? Some news from a daily standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, we can just, like, throughout the day or throughout the week, we can put stuff on the Trello board for show ideas or like episode ideas. So like what those hashtags I have in there, those are like different segments throughout the hour, or rather throughout the hour. So I guess we're gonna have to decide. So right, so we go with the hour format, then we probably need to create another card template that has it. Right, so if you create another card and everything is broken up into
okay, I want you to take a look at something real fast. Let me try to share screen, share desktop. Can you see my screen yet?
let me see.
Maybe okay, share. I hadn't pushed it. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
This is one of the things I was doing with the Cobb Live. If you look down here, it's first up here I just saw, I don't really see this, but I just saw where it had this OBS down here. Learn more how to set up OBS, LLBS, XSplit, your favorite encoder, etc. You see that?
Yeah, that's what I was using was OBS.
Right, but then you come down, you got multiple streams, add channel. You can do YouTube, Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube stream now. And within this restream, which it's just a free account I said I started reading about. I didn't get far enough into it, but you're able to see all of these feeds and all of these live streams on one portal at one time. And I'm sure there's some type of tipping mechanism. We can look deeper into it, but this is the restream, which I'll send you a link if you don't already have it up. Platform. Right here, so it's a chat, open communication with the audience.
Yeah.
Then you get metrics, of course, streams, average duration, analytics. I was looking for pricing.
Yeah, because you can only do 30 minutes.
Well, I think that's just them trying to get you to sign in. But I think once you get hooked in, do you see pricing anywhere? Another thing that looks promising is the scheduler.
Okay.
Stream your pre-recorded music videos, players, webinars, live, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and other platforms simultaneously.
Right. So yeah, I was just wondering about, the interaction, but those are problems that you have when you get bigger.
Right. I don't see pricing. I was actually looking for pricing to see what like you just pulled down the different pricing on the other platform to see what the charges were for different tiers, which I don't see here off the top. But this is the one I was looking at. I don't know if you want to dig in this a little bit in your investigation, trying to figure out, again, this is just expanding your reach, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I never used Periscope, but I know a lot of people are on Facebook.
Well, a lot of people are on Twitter, and I don't know if you saw it, which is probably should be part of our conversation, that the Lightning Network just created a Chrome extension where you can do micro tips in Bitcoin.
Right. Yeah. So
on Twitter.
Yeah. So yeah.
Another thing I thought was cool, did you see this? I probably got to do it over the phone, which again, this is probably something should be part of our, because I go through the news daily for about 20 minutes, just hit everything, just put my eyes on it. Of course, can't read it all, but let's see. New integration. On Google's keyboard, it just came up with a B, the Bitcoin B, they put it on the Gboard. So if you download the Gboard keyboard, Google keyboard, now they have the Bitcoin symbol integration.
Oh, so what happens when you press on the B? A Lightning wallet pops up or something?
You actually press on the $sign, and it.
Oh. Okay, so wait a minute, Google.
It's the Google keyboard, which you can download as an additional keyboard within your iOS phone. Then you go to your keyboard settings and you enable it to be one of your keyboards. And once you open up, you'll love it because you get so much functionality in the Gboard. But as a add-on, 2 days ago they included the Bitcoin symbol.
Oh, but it don't add nothing now.
I think that's something that can be added in the future. This is just the first step.
Gotcha. Gboard, okay, Google emojis, okay. Oh, okay, I got you. So when you add that Gboard, so in the future, when you want to send somebody some money, you hit that bit symbol, and then
there you go.
Gotcha.
You're going to get a QR code. You're going to get some type of interface that will allow you to have some type of transaction. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was the whole point of Lightning.
I just think from an adoption standpoint, just Google seeing the need set Moreover, did you see the new Samsung 10 phone coming out with the
wallet? Yeah. That's just
iOS. iOS is going to have to follow suit.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they already own it with Apple Pay. 2020 is going to be interesting because.
You mean for the election? No, I'm kidding.
Nah, who gives a fuck? I didn't even watch. Yeah. Yeah, so the election is in November this year?
Yes. No, elections is November 2020. They think primaries are this year.
Yeah. So, 2020 is going to be very, that's going to be a year for record books because
crypto?
We're gonna have so many crypto projects reach maturity by the third quarter of this year. So you will have a full 12 months before the election of mature out of beta products that are ready for volume at the same time that the shitstorm is coming to bear, like the flattening of the yield curve, which happened, I think it was December the 4th. And so the last couple of times that's happened, 12 to 14 months later, the shit show began.
Mm-hmm.
So the chicken's gonna come home to roost about eight months from now. And so there's gonna be a lot of shifting around, a lot of panic, a lot of everything, like all of the economic doomsday scenarios will have their greatest probabilities of happening during that time.
I got you. Now, when you say that, are you speaking specifically in regards to crypto, or are you speaking collectively in all markets?
Right. I'm talking about the global debt problem.
I got you. All markets. I got you.
The elephant in the room problem.
I got you.
And crypto is just one of the possible, solutions, or Bitcoin, was one of the possible solutions. But we talked about that, some months ago. And then, Tyler's blog post about how he thinks possibly the dominoes might fall, right? So, because I had told you that Bitcoin was not ready to receive, $1 trillion in a week,
right?
But very soon it will be. And then at that point, it's just a decision, when the shit hits the fan, right. Where's the money going? Because the money's gonna run for safety, and the governments of the world would love it if it ran to at least gold first. Nobody really wants the money to go into Bitcoin. Everybody, they want a cashless society without Bitcoin.
Right.
They want a cryptocurrency-based cashless society without Bitcoin.
That's what your guy Tim Draper, new Arthur's warning, talking about 5 years, that fiat will almost be dead.
Well, so he's part of the system.
Oh, absolutely.
So fiat won't be dead, it'll just be digital. But that's how they're selling it to the public. Right? I mean, money's already digital now.
Right.
I mean, I've been running around with the same $100 bill for 4.5 weeks.
Right.
So I rarely ever use cash, depending upon what, how I'm moving. So it's very easy to remove it. But what are the transportation rails that we're going to use to move around money by decree, or what they call fiat? And it'll be, different forms of internet money. But again, the Federal Reserve computer is a database. It's just not, and it's safe. I mean, it's just not public, and it's not decentralized. There's no difference between the Federal Reserve computer
any other computer
than any other database by J.P. Morgan or Wells Fargo.
Now that we're getting a little sunshine, like the rain done slowed up for a minute, I think, but we're still super overcast.
Yeah, so they got reasonable security guarantees because they have known participants in the Federal Reserve network. Right? You just can't be nobody. They got to crawl up your ass, all types of ID checks, internal security measures before you get hooked up. And so that's the safety guarantee. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is secured by all of these nodes and basically public consensus and just a different security mechanism. But it's public.
Right.
So so is Bitcoin Cash and Satoshi Vision and all of the other 31 flavors of Bitcoin.
Right. So do you think ultimately they'll still all end up being the first Bitcoin for us, a storage device? The reason I asked is because it was something that I read. I don't know what, it was a Chinese Bitcoin tycoon saying that he thought that Bitcoin could be at $700,000 a coin in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. The case for $1 million Bitcoin has already been laid out. Again, but the governments of the world don't want that to happen. So they're going to do all that they can, to make sure that people get rich off of, JP Morgan coin. They don't care that you get rich. That's not.
They're going to make sure they get paid in the process.
Well, they just don't want you to have control of your money. You having monetary sovereignty is an issue for the state. If Libya had Bitcoin as its reserve currency, then their gold would not be our gold now. We can blow your country to shit, but we can't take your Bitcoin.
Right. Right. So you're still able to go spring up somewhere else.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can, but the way that the system's being architected now it's make it very difficult for you to, because right now they're getting together with all the major exchanges and they're tagging Bitcoins. So that was one of the things that he talked about at that conference, is actually putting liens on virgin Bitcoin so that they can track it throughout the system. So that when it tries to exit, or like when you try to exit into fiat, or you try to put that Bitcoin on an exchange, it's been tagged, and so that they can seize it.
So like you said, basically the core of the state's globally issue is you being able to have control of your money.
Right.
$1, $100 million.
Right. Doesn't matter. So so if they change how it's defined according to the Uniform Commercial Code, now that gives them the legal right to be able to do things with newly minted Bitcoins or Bitcoins that are on their exchanges. Again, it's not yours. They can, they can put that shit in the terms and conditions without telling anybody. They can do a whole bunch of things to divorce you without you even knowing. That would be the best thing ever, is for you to think that you're free.
Right. Listen, just like you think your vote matters.
Exactly. So you guys can do whatever you want with your Bitcoin.
Or vote all 90% of y'all can vote this way, but these 24 people over here called electoral college can say we don't like that. That's not a balance of power.
Right. So it is your Bitcoin until things get out of whack, and then we have to come in and apply the rule of law. But other than that, it's your Bitcoin.
What do you think about your homeboy up in Chicago, who they locked up now with this staged attack?
Who?
This guy who staged the attack. I just got a notification on my Smart News app. Talking about he staged the attack because he was dissatisfied with his salary. So he let two people beat him up. Two brothers in the same show, in the same clip as him, African brothers beat him up. And they got them on tape at the store buying the disguises, the costumes.
Man, okay, so you remember when we was downtown, right? Downtown Chicago, and we was going bar hopping.
Right. I'm trying to think, downtown where? What city?
Chicago. And remember I was telling you that story about a friend of mine who was part owner in that tavern on Rush.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the police got called on him, and he was part owner of the restaurant. You remember me saying that?
Yep.
So when I read the first press briefing about what happened to it, and I'm just like, that don't even sound right.
In Chicago.
Yeah. How that happened. It's possible, it just don't sound right, because
not the murder capital, everybody getting killed.
Yeah.
They beat you up.
Right. And some white dudes beat you up. They will do that, but I don't just something about how the story was written just didn't make it seem like that. Like
yeah, brother.
Like maybe after a hockey game or some shit, and there's 20 of them and they've been drinking and they start yee-hawing and shit, and you by yourself. Right. But as far as some brothers jumping on you downtown, it just didn't sound right. Growing up there, and it just didn't sound right. Like when there are racial incidents in Chicago, it generally doesn't happen under those circumstances. Even though it's a very racist city, it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Like they'll tell you, like, hey, you can't come in here because you just look like a particular type of black person that we don't like.
Right.
So a lot of times it's a class issue. Like, if for some reason, you're like a Barack Obama type, no one has any problem with letting you in. But if you come across as somebody else that may not be as desirable, and in the greater cultures, or rather in white people's in minds, they may not let you in somewhere, but as far as like jumping on you, I hadn't heard that in a while because we put in too much work. And what I mean by that is it's too much ass whoopings handed out.
Right. For free.
For free, so that things don't really happen like that in Chicago anymore. You know, like when we first got hired on the railroad, it was a racial incident. But, you know, a lot of the brothers who had been hired in the 70s and 80s were afraid. And we were the young guys. I think at that time had nobody black or white been hired in like 16 years. So we was like the first new class. So we came in there and they thought everything was gonna be, you know, like it was in Sanford and Son. I don't know what the fuck they thought, but you know, after they so-called leader got the taste slapped out his mouth, literally.
Oh my goodness.
Like a bitch. Then the rest of them come, all right, and then we barred the doors. Okay, ain't none of you motherfuckers getting out. It's about to go down.
Right.
We didn't have no more problems, you know. And so, you know, and then after that, you know, the couple times they tried to kill me, I returned the favor. So, you know, it just war, you know. So because of those type of incidents over a long period of time everywhere, it just was odd to me how, you know, how the story just read. I'm just like, something's not right. And then if I'm on the show and I'm about to get written out, I'm gonna pay you to beat your ass.
Right. And particularly, I mean, again, my thought on that entire community is starved for a lot of things, and attention seems to be all at the top of the list, and acceptance. So when you have a platform and you don't feel like you're being given the attention or the amount of time, TV time, script time, I don't know. I'm not writing the show. Not my show. I don't even watch the show. Right. I don't think I've ever watched it. As a matter of fact, I've never watched a full episode of the show. I've seen the girl Taraji or something. I've seen it a couple times in that thing, but I've never watched the show. But when you feel like you're not being, your contribution isn't being valued.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe his agent told him, you know, man, you gotta do something so you can become more visible on the show.
Right.
You know.
So we can open up some other opportunities.
Yeah, so, you know.
Well, if that was his agent's initiative, it worked.
Yeah, but it worked the bad way.
they got the FBI. He got some visibility. FBI. He's on the FBI radar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some white dudes attacked you. I mean, he did. You know, that was a jab at Trump, and it was just, you know, that's why it was so. That's why the police was on it, and the suspicion was on him the next day, because of what I read. I know the Chicago detectives was like, nah, something ain't right. You know, just because of like the stories that I have, you know, just something ain't right. And then again, you know, you paying to. I'm gonna try to position myself as an action star so I can get another movie or something, right? So I'm gonna go pay 4 or 5 brothers and I'm gonna beat their ass. You know, doing kung fu and shit, and then we're gonna get it on tape.
Right. But we're also gonna get on tape us buying the disguises.
Right. You know, Harlow's a real ass kicker. We gotta really put him in the next action movie. You know.
On a more serious note, what do you think about this this LYFT IPO?
Oh man.
You know, that was one of my, I cited that company in my report back when I submitted to my LPs, that along with 2 or 3 other multi-billion-dollar corporations at this point.
Right. Well, you know, people are looking for growth. So, I mean, I'll probably get in on it once it hits.
I think it's going to fly up the charts too. I don't know what Uber's present valuation is market cap wise, but I know it's way out there. It's 50, 60 billion, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's going to be, it's going to be a bubble, and I think we can trade it. I think we can get in on it and go up. So, yeah, because again, that tsunami is not scheduled to hit until next year. So, if they can IPO in March, what did the press say? March,
1st of March.
Yeah, they can IPO in March, and
where do you think the shares gonna come in at?
I have no idea, but I don't see why they can't be up in the hundreds of dollars 2 or 3 months later.
Ain't no question about it.
Right.
No question about it. By June, by midsummer, end of second Q2, it'd definitely be a couple to a few $100s.
Yeah, I mean,
it won't stay that way, but it'll definitely be that high.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, the frenzy is going to hit. You know, the Russian bots are going to be out there pumping the stock. You know, all of the wild allegations. LYFT's going to replace Tesla. You know, LYFT's going to be as valuable as Amazon. You know, you're going to get those fucks on a CNBC pumping the stock.
What you bring up another point, I think it's interesting that Elon Musk, one of the forefront thinkers of our generation, has just recently endorsed crypto.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, everybody's going to get on the crypto bandwagon because, you know, Tesla stock, you know, it's going to be crypto.
I think exactly right. I think he's going to, if not already, for what we know, he's probably already positioning. I think he'll be trying to do car to car. Somebody's going to come up with car to car transactions.
Now, see, that'll kill the game if you could put LYFT on one of the new blockchain-based trading platforms. Like, what was that one? Eris, or I can't remember the name of it. You had sent me a link. So yeah, like Robinhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if the shares, just for the sake of argument, what if they IPO at $27? Well, if you got fractional ownership because it's crypto based, you can have. I mean, I don't know how much more liquidity that is, because now you can have people cash app in $5. You know, you can do set up an auto buy, you know, for $3.
Right.
You know, I mean, the liquidity, that's the holy grail of that's why what's the ABRA, American Express's thing.
Yeah.
They've already got stocks on their blockchain inside that app. And like I said last year, you know, once something like the Cash App or Robinhood becomes fully crypto,
mm-hmm.
all of the stocks in it are crypto as well. There's only going to be one wallet, because you're going to become your own bank.
Whose wallet?
There'll be competitors. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's wallet would be able to do everything everybody else's wallet can do, minus 1 or 2 patentable features. But
for the most part, when you go to Walgreens and I open up my Pillar wallet or my JP Morgan, my JP Morgan wallet, or rather, like you said, my Samsung wallet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or my Apple Pay wallet, I will be able to have whomever's USD, it be JPM coin, Wells Fargo coin, which is all US, it could be WUSD, JPM USD, whomever has put their US dollar equivalent on that particular blockchain, right? Atomic swaps running in the background, and you got Bitcoin, all the ERC20 tokens, all this stuff in one wallet. I can spend Google stock or Uber stock at the cash register at Walgreens. I don't need to necessarily, if it's on I could get out of, if we're trading in a bear market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why be in cash at all?
Right.
Like, I just need to be able to, I got all my money in cash riding this wave up. And when I need some money, I just atomically swap it for USD in an instantaneous transaction at Walgreens.
Right. And the thing that I think is most concerning for people is that when the masses start understanding what we understand, either through trading bots, micro payments, micro investing through any number of apps that are already online, whether it be, say for instance, you got Acorn, which I'm hearing from the millennials is a nice way of people are saving money, because what Acorn does, it rounds up or rounds down your transactions. So now you're taking those round up and round down and you're throwing them instantly into micro transactions in the blockchain.
Yep.
So people are becoming wealthy passively.
Passively. You can keep the change, right? You can set that up in your wallet to keep your own change, or rather, every transaction you do rounds up, and then that buys a basket of cryptocurrencies or stocks.
Right.
But it's all cryptocurrency driven.
Right.
And you can do it, at the pennies level.
Exactly.
Any income bracket out there.
Right now, our chain is, I think like I saw is trading at 23 cents. So today you bought, and by the end of the year, like for instance, one stock I was looking at passively, somebody had bought like a few thousand shares, didn't even know they had bought them. And with his trading bot, passively, they looking at we had like 3,000 shares of a stock. Now I don't think it was something that's I think it was one of those coins that we don't like.
Right.
But think of it if it was just a portion of Bitcoin or Ethereum Classic or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be and all of that shit's gonna be ready for prime time around the election. So, I mean, it's gonna be a fucking dogfight as capitalism reorients itself, around this new technology, and just an entire, level of jobs are just going to be wiped out.
So are you still the mindset now, post what we spoke about a few weeks ago, are you still the mindset staying in cash? Are you even with the current state of things?
Well, yeah, I'm still in cash, because I don't, I'm risk averse now. I just had too many losses.
Right.
So right now I'm in capital preservation mode. Like if all the stars line up, all the stars line up. Yeah. So I'm paper trading now, getting my confidence back up. But for the most part, like that one, what is it, CGC?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Damn, see, it already broke down.
Hyperwave?
Yes, canopy growth.
Right.
So I gotta as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna buy a put. Right.
Going over to Trading View.
Right. I'm gonna buy a put going out to January 17th, 20. Let me see. I think I got. I don't remember what. Oh shit! I almost ended the fucking meeting.
Hey man, listen, I've been pushing wrong buttons all morning.
Right. So did you get that chart I sent you yesterday?
I did. What are you looking at, on the 5-minute candle or the week candle for canopy growth?
Hold on, let me share my screen. So right now I got it on the weekly.
Okay, I see.
Right. So Sunday night, this candle's gonna close, and hopefully, well, based on, so right here, you can't, hold on, let me turn off the price. See, right here, the short-term moving average is gonna intersect with the medium-term moving average.
Let's see.
So I'm depending upon if I wasn't chicken shit, I would fucking buy it now. Or rather, I would short it now, because that's what the indicators are saying as far as the phase 7 line, right? So this thing is going in the shitter. Fast.
Time to start shortening it.
Yeah, let me look at the daily.
I know you can look at the green market index report for cannabis, which I kind of listen to passively. I'll send you a link to that. The lady who follows the market a whole lot, but she has a YouTube channel, and she does a little micro content like what we're talking about doing, called the Green Market Report, every day. I wonder, is there a index you can look at to see if the overall cannabis market is going to follow suit? Because there may be other shorting opportunities within the market.
Right. So and that's exactly what he said, right? And this last week, look at the indexes first, right? And then go. So is there a cannabis index?
There is. There are a few of them. One is called the Green Market Index. There is another one called
Are any of them tradable though? Hold on, we got green thumb. No.
Let's Google it. Let's see. Google cannabis indexes.
The cannabis index, S&P. Yeah, we don't. Just basically got almost no data.
Yeah, that's not one. There's a few places I look. One is your guy. What is his name?
Yeah, what is this trading range? This is from basically 940 to Yeah. I mean, since it first started tracking, it's only up 28%.
Which index is that?
The cannabis index. So,
like you said, I don't think this one's tradable. This is the green market report. And this shows the tickets that they're using, the ticker symbols.
yeah, so whatever happened, it's getting ready to roll over now.
So that's the index. So, I mean, if that's any indicator, there'll definitely be other opportunities in the space.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's been going up for the past 11 days. So, I mean, we got a doji right here. And so we got, I mean, it's damn near perfect. We got a 9 here, followed by, what is that? Right. This one here. So, yeah, we yep.
Just the reason I asked is because I'm still, still in that, like you said, just being a big chicken for to push the button on the sale of my assets and get in cash, or still try to continue to weather the storm in this shared economy.
Well,
My train of thought is this: get in cash partially, continue to, we'll definitely lose the asset, but we'll be in cash and could probably, like I said, the only problem is you can't, in this market, you can't rent nothing for what I'm paying in mortgage, first, second, and utilities. You can't get a house over where I'm at with what I'm paying. This is only because I've been there for 16 years. Not possible. On the same road I'm on, not even a quarter mile down the road, they just broke ground on the neighborhood, same exact street, starting at $500,000.
right. So, yeah, but the, incomes are not rising. I mean, you can build shit at $500,000 all you want, but, I don't know. And see, Atlanta and Phoenix are at the tail end of the bullshit. So every place else is experiencing problems in the real estate market, severe problems already. And so we're a little bit insulated because we're in areas where people are going to come to from high cost areas. So yeah, I was looking at something yesterday about Chicago, and the guy was pretty good. I'll swing back around and check the data source.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a map of Chicago, and basically there is no middle class anymore.
Are you kidding? In Chicago or nationally?
Chicago.
That's not surprising.
Right. So that's the trend. And so the people who had the upward mobility left because they could feel the squeeze, right? The people who had $2 or $3 grand to get up and move and go somewhere, it's almost like Katrina, right? Everybody left in Chicago now does not have the upward mobility to leave, otherwise they would have left.
Right.
And the rich people don't care because, they're insulated from it. So, the map was basically red and blue, like the whole downtown, or what we call the Loop, and near north and a couple of neighborhoods going north were blue, and everything other than that was red.
Wow.
So, Yeah, so those people leaving New York State, leaving LA.
Well, they have, but see, LA, of course, they have financial incentive to leave. I'm in communication with a guy who's moving his entire operation to Atlanta, just bought and almost paid for a large plot of land up in Noonan, Georgia, which is about 45 minutes outside of here. But moving his entire operation here because of the cost of living and traffic.
Well, I've heard that traffic is equal to LA as far as how fucked up it is. But so all things being equal, so people from LA already are used to Atlanta's traffic. So
but getting more bang for your buck.
They're getting more bang for the buck. So that's what's keeping their housing prices up. But eventually that will run out too. It'll just be one of the last dominoes to fall as far as cities go. But other cities are in double-digit decline across a lot of different categories. So the question is, it's a timing issue, right? You get out now and then you buy back in later.
Right. Get out now. Is the value of the property going to do what the market's going to do in the right place?
Well, I don't know.
I'm saying with the money, but my Achilles heel of my thought process is where can you got to go value for value, asset for asset. You come out of a house, then you got to go into something that's going to be secure. Maybe gold. Maybe, I don't know, a diversified portfolio of some percentage.
Yeah, I mean,
just trying
that's
to
the risk. That's the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
So this guy, I have posted a question on Quora just for, because I don't have a lot of people to talk to, is like, how do you short the value of your house? Right? Mm-hmm. And some people answered it and they were like, well, basically, if you got the credit, you mortgage it to the hilt and take the cash because cash is king. And the price value falls, let it go. You pass that failure off to the banks, because at that point cash becomes king. At that point you could diversify. Things get really bad, you could go into gold, you could go into Bitcoin, you could be trading or whatever, but you got the cash. You can always go bankrupt.
Right.
Chapter 7, hey, I'm straight, but I still got the bag. Right. So
yeah, that's provided you got the credit to
right, but you don't. So you gotta liquidate.
Gotcha.
And try to try to get there, try to pick it up later on, because, and that's the thing is, that this is going to happen
sooner than later.
It's unavoidable, and there's consensus on that. So the thing is, how long can we keep it going? And so if I was at the Fed, my answer would be, we're going to keep it going for as long as fucking possible.
Right.
Because I don't want to deal with the tsunami that's going to be worse than 2008. So, that financial news network that I pay for, I was watching this guy and he said something, and I went back and watched it twice. And then I got it. So he was like, a backdoor deal has been cut. So to allow American corporations to repatriate all that cash, which is like $2 to $3 trillion
from overseas.
From overseas, and they don't have to pay no taxes on it. But they have to do stock buybacks. So They're going to keep those trends. They're going to keep buying their own stock and trading their own stock with that money to keep the market from crashing. They're going to keep it going up.
I got you.
Right. And
what you've already seen starting to happen.
Yeah.
I've seen several stock buybacks from Fortune 500s.
Yes. Yeah. And so they're buying their stock back, and that's keeping the casino open. And when we run out of that ammunition, hopefully something else would have appeared at that point. But so what does that mean for the S&P? The S&P is going up because a lot of foreign governments, like the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, right? Every other economy on earth is going into the shitter. Where's your only growth going to come from? You got what are your options?
Right.
U.S. dollars and U.S. equities. Until that no longer becomes an option, then you just fucking go down with the Titanic.
Right. Everybody loses.
Right, but until that point, you know what I mean? There's money.
Ride to the wheels fall off. Ride the wheel on the metal.
Right. And so, once we go parabolic, I'm whatever money I got in the market, I'm switching from the weekly to the daily in 12 hours. And so instead of checking shit, daily or whatever, weekly, whatever I have, I want to be trading it on a shorter time frame. Because once you go parabolic, it's gonna turn on you
quick.
It'll turn on you quick. So you just basically, instead of having your stop here, you're just gonna keep. Once you go parabolic, you're gonna go down to the daily and then keep moving your stops up.
Let's look at a different question then. What are ways? We're playing in the crypto space, we're playing in the cannabis space, we're playing in the hyperwave space, and that's all macro moves. What are micro moves that we could make in the way of, entertainment, bricks and mortar, investment properties? What are micro moves that we could make to potentially offset some of the macro decisions?
That's why I was trying to work out that Drive Partners business model, because the Uber and Lyft drivers are getting squeezed, and the only way for you as an individual driver to make more money is you got to share your car with other people.
But sharing your car with other people,
with other drivers.
But that takes away from your weekly, monthly, yearly.
No, it doesn't. No, if me, you, and another person shared my car, right? All you got to pay for is gas, right? So the other associated costs, which eat into your money, which you don't realize, but you can actually feel it, right? So right now, most people who are driving, they got that car note, they got gas, and they got maintenance. I can eliminate two of those. We can severely cut into that car note, and we can really cut into that maintenance. So instead of you doing maintenance by yourself and paying that car note by yourself, let's divide that car note by 4. And let's divide that maintenance cost by 4. And everybody share that same car. So I'm gonna fill out.
So in a window of 24 hours, what you saying? Break up the time allowed as far as peak, non-peak times driving.
Yeah, that's up to you guys. If you got a 4-man team, right? Then I'm driving 8, you're driving 8, and he's driving 8, and we got 1 day pit stop. We're going 24/7, 6 days a week.
So how far are you along in working that model out? I saw the presentation.
Yeah, I gotta sit down with Kim and see what she thinks, because she's actually driving right now.
Right.
And I want to see with these, because these numbers are actually real for her, because she's got a car note, she's got maintenance, and she's got fuel costs. And I'm saying is that
we'll have to figure out some type of way to put a geolocator on it where people can't, or will we just not even let that be a part of our problem? Because I feel like we'll back into the same thing. You know, I tried that web van of car washes with the vans I was buying. It became geographically stifling because of location. So you say with a 2 mile, 3 mile, 5 mile, 10 mile radius, you can't be a part of this group unless you're within this.
Well, what I'm saying is we sell it as a transportation company. Hey, you can start your own transportation company. Click here. You got to put together your own partnership with you and your boys. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think that's friction though. That's inertia.
It ain't gonna be for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like for all the people that are eligible to drive, this might only work for 15-20% of them, but because
we got $1 billion market now, and with LYFT getting ready to do an IPO, I don't think that's going to be a big problem. Finding enough drivers.
Right. I mean, and then there's also different models we could use for like apartment complexes.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking. The same thing too. Find people who are close, who are doing the same thing and just don't know it.
Exactly. Like the apartment complex can offer this service to their like we parked a car here. I mean, I don't know how these networks exist. I'm just saying, like back in high school, right, when we all lived in Marietta, if me, you, Ramsey, and Bill decided to buy a car, that would have and run it that way where we driving. I drive the car for this 8 hours. That would have worked because we all live near each other.
Exactly.
So this doesn't work if your partnership is spread all over Atlanta.
No, I was thinking the same thing, because you got too many other variables: traffic, drive time, gas to and from, who's paying the drop off, pickup, et cetera, so on and so forth.
Right. So you're gonna have to find. I don't care how you put together your partnership. I'm just telling you that that's probably not going to work. Either way, I
think we have to build that into the model, though. We have to say there has to be a radius of people. I don't care if you live in an apartment or you live in a house. You might live in the apartment complex next to the house. I'm at my mom's house right now, and right behind her house is an apartment complex. So it's just a radius situation. 5 miles, 2 miles. This won't work, or it can't work, or you can't sign up partners outside of this radius.
Okay, so how do we prove that they live in there?
Geolocation, and it'll be a transparent thing, like Airbnb. When I call tech support with Airbnb, the first thing they are about is transparency. The first thing that the case manager says, we're 100% transparent. We want all our people, via guest or via host, to be transparent on the portal.
Yeah, I mean, 14 hours a day, I think was the limit, right? So if you got 2 people, if you got 3 people who are driving 6 days and splitting that shift, they can drive 12 hours apiece, and you got an hour coming and you got an hour going. So it's possible for me and you to have a partnership if it's just going to be 2 of us and we're going to split this down the middle, right? For me to live in Marietta and you in the city, because I'm driving 12 hours a day if I have to. But when my shift is up, I got to bring you the car. That's an hour. It could be an hour coming, an hour going. You see what I'm saying? But then you're gonna have to bring me back home. So it's just, you know, it's a logistical thing that I don't think really pans out, because a lot of times years ago.
What we could do is a way to get around that caveat, that we could identify, either be it, I mean, this can be off radar initially, but identify within these places, Starbucks, very common meeting places that are already prevalent amongst these people. That people are meeting, I don't know, grocery stores, for that transaction, that transfer to happen.
Yeah.
Or does it have to be at someone's home? Because again, what if I live by myself? What if I'm a college student? How do I get back home?
Right. Well, you could, you know, you can turn around and lift line home. You know what I mean? Like if my 12 hours is up and you in Marietta and I'm at the airport you know what I'm saying? And it's going to take me an hour to get back up there, then I got to turn off the clock. I got to go off the clock, and then I got to head up that way. Right? Then you got to, then you can, if it were Chicago, it would be different, because I could just drop you off on the bus or on the train.
But some people may not be comfortable. If we're talking about right now, they're saying that the most commonly used, the people who are using the portals most often now are your gerontology people and your housewives. So I'm not comfortable getting on a plane. I'm scared of getting on the bus or the rapid transit. People are trying to offset or subsidize their income.
Right. Well, what I'm just saying is, you know, you're in the transportation business, so driving you an hour back down into the city is no big deal. You know, as soon as I drop you off, I just go into driver mode, and, you know, I am where I am. You know, but the point is, I got, you know, the last hour, so the app will cut me off in 14 hours. So I'm only going to be able to drive 12 hours, because that 13th hour, I got to head back to you.
Defensibility. As a startup, defensibility, how defensible is this concept from pre-existing rideshare companies?
I don't know if it is, but I'm just trying to see, okay, how could we turn it up on day one? We already talked about that. Go get a motherfucking Prius, form an LLC, DPO1, and then assign the car to that. Then use hire car, right? And it'll be cumbersome at first. Because you guys have to put hire car on hire car because of the insurance that comes with it and the integration into Uber and Lyft.
Right.
That's why you have to use them. Okay, but we're eventually going to plug directly into Uber and Lyft and eliminate them.
We need to do some.
But we make money.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but we make money on the car note itself.
So our revenue model is not the driving; it's actually the other ancillary, potential ancillary service we can make money, whether it be maintenance, whether it be or having a dedicated maintenance guy that comes out, like your guy comes out and fixes the car. We make money on the service.
Right, we make money on the car itself. So you drive the car and you pay us $75 per week. Right? So no, $75. $75 to $100 per driver per week. So on 3 drivers, that's like $225 or or almost or 900 a month, right? So we make money off of selling off of renting a Prius for $900 a month.
We'll just have to look at 2 things, in my opinion. One, defensibility, because I see it, I think it's an excellent idea, but we're not defensible. So we start extrapolating the time it's going to take to launch, and you get smashed because you get somebody, a scout from Uber, Lyft, or one of these other ride sharing companies come out and say, it's a great idea. We're just going to integrate in what we're doing, and no one ever sees or hears about rideshare partner again, or whatever the name end up being.
Right. So I'm thinking you started in Atlanta, right, and go down by the airport at the Uber and Lyft, and you start recruiting drivers. Hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about that? Right? And test out that idea and see if we can get some traction. Then if we can, we only need, like we set up the LLC for you because we need to be able to seize the car back. So we just have to make a legal agreement such that if something goes wrong, you guys don't pay or whatever, we have legal right to come and seize the car. It's like we're the managing partner for your LLC, but you guys get all of the profits and we just get the car note, and we handle maintenance. So just as a concept, that's why I haven't pitched it to my sister yet, but I'm just like, look, as soon as you sell the fucking, as soon as she finishes her transaction with her house, let's use your car.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
She got offers?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, or, that's the risk. Buying a $5,000 Prius.
There's no risk in that. That's not the risk. You can always do a host of things. You could drive the car, sell the car, put the car on hire a car, and just wait for the time to run out. Till the car pays for itself. That's just time.
Right.
Time value of money.
Yeah. So let's get some people on the list first, right? Sign them up. You go to the airport in Atlanta. I go to the one here in Phoenix, and we get some people on the list, and they want to form a partnership.
Who's the target? What's the target age, target demographic?
I don't know the answer to that question. That's why I got to get out there and talk to drivers. Be like, hey, we got a new company called Drive Partners, and this is how it works. Are you interested? Because let me tell you how you benefit. Right now, you got to pay a car note, and you got to pay maintenance, and you got to pay fuel costs. We have a way that we're integrated with Uber and Lyft to where you form a company or a partnership with 3 to 4 other drivers, and you guys share one car. So instead of you paying your car note and running your car into the ground, mm-hmm. you're gonna run our car into the ground.
Gotcha. Could we also look at this from a franchise standpoint?
Yeah.
I think a franchise, as opposed to setting up a bunch of LLCs, because what will happen eventually once we get so many, whatever LLCs, C corps, or whatever end up being the best formation, that'll become extremely cumbersome from an accounting standpoint. But if
I don't know.
Say for instance we did a franchise, then we're basically franchisors selling franchisee license with some type of royalty, some type of wraparound where we own the equipment being the automobile or whatever's around that. Then we can set up all type of other safeguards, maintenance safeguards, SOPs, standard operating procedures, and ways we can make certain that the quality stays where it needs to stay. But when you got somebody with their own LLC, they can set up all their own internal things they think should be.
Right, which is why we have ultimate control over your LLC. Yeah.
But I don't know, unless you have control of the board or the interest in the shares, and you don't have control of the LLC.
Right, that's what I mean. But we're gonna set it up such that, you know, we have control. I don't see that being an issue. We just have to work out the details. But the point is as a marketing concept, right? You guys form, what we're telling you is you guys got to form a company, right? And the LLC is the hook, right? Like you got law firms out here, and they have hundreds of thousands of LLCs that they're like the registered agent that I use.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. They have company formation software, and it administers all of those meeting minutes or whatever to remain compliant with the state. All of that's wrapped in there. It's just that, you know, we're the managing partner, and these are the policies and procedures, and then we have ultimate, you know, say so. So like the cost of the formation might be $500. So we might have to put it in there. Like we at any point in time we can seize your LLC as long as we compensate you for what you put in. So we put up, you know what I'm saying? So that's why if we pay the $500 and then you got to give it right back to us. And then at any point, if this shit ain't working out, we just seize it. And the car.
Hold on, man.
We can resell, you know, your shares are liquid. We can sell it to somebody else.
Hold on, but I got somebody else trying to book. These people kill me trying to book my house. Everybody wants to book 7 guests one night. This is a party. Lives in Augusta, Georgia. 0 reviews. Let rent your home for the weekend. No.
This might be a good one.
This is the third request today for the same date.
Right. Yeah, this might be a movie.
No last name. Zero reviews, just signed up.
See, Airbnb has to, and you got to wonder why they're not doing that.
No profile picture. I mean, it has to be some type of way they can be more. I mean, look, I don't know if you can see my screen, but you see the last three requests. There's no profile picture at all, just the first name.
Right. So there was this company that I signed, this crypto company I signed up with, and it was a live person that popped up on the screen during the account creation process, and it connected to my camera, and they wanted to actually see me, and they went through a series of questions that they asked me, and you couldn't get in a create. I forget which crypto it was. I just thought, wow, that was, you know, somebody like Airbnb would need to do that.
Chat bot or something. They need to create some type of chat bot or some type of live interaction.
Right, because they could make you a virtual reality avatar that's just recording me. Right, so it doesn't actually have, like, I don't know that you're not an actual. Well, I can know that you're an avatar, but I'm thinking that using the sound and the camera would be able to determine whether I'm a real human being. I don't know.
I'm just not written to people who just got on the portal 24 hours ago, and I'm just not doing it. I'm just decline. I can't. because then it's only for one night. That's a rip the house apart customer.
Right.
And again, my guess is the same person, or a person with the same intent. Because if you are on the portal and you have the proper intentions, one thing, you have your last name up there. Two, you have a profile picture.
Right.
Nah, I'm just not doing it. I'm not. I've already been ripped apart a few times. And then the third thing, I don't mind people who are in Florida, like the people who just checked out from Galveston, Tennessee, or something like that. That's fine. I've been there for 3 days. These people, the last 3 people, are in Georgia, Lithonia, Georgia, Danville, Georgia, now Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah,
well, listen, man, it's 1 o'clock, man. We need to stay on this rideshare thing. I think I made some notes that we need to look into either the franchisee. I have a friend that is a franchise expert, and he'd be more than happy to have a conversation with us via Zoom or on the phone, who may give us some insight into looking at which way to try to approach it from a structure standpoint. Some things that we may not be thinking about, and I can get in touch with him and see if he'll jump on a call with us. But with Lyft doing this IPO and Uber already being $50-60 billion company, and Lyft probably right behind them, and knowing that it's getting a lot more difficult for people to make this rideshare model work due to maintenance, due to gas, traffic, et cetera, and we probably do some research to see if there's somebody out there already thinking of some things along these lines.
Yeah, I mean, that 25% that they're taking, right, from these drivers is the difference, right? And I'm thinking that we can cut into that, right? We can cut into that. It's a win-win. We can probably.
But it's a time thing because we have no defensibility. So by the time this runs up the food chain, and they implement it or some derivative of it, we're pretty much why we can't get in too deep financially.
Right. Well, it may not scale, right? But just like we talked about before, this could be
offset.
One of these things that just pay you $2,000-3,000 a month.
Right. I got you.
If it grow into something, fine, but we need to try to find. I see that that's a problem, and this is a possible
solution.
I don't know if it's going to scale or not, but we can definitely
extrapolate for some period of time. Number 12 months, we could throw it into crypto.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay, so I made some notes, man. Let's jump back on it tomorrow. I got some things that I sent you an article via LinkedIn, which is along the lines of some things we're talking about as far as adoption.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Just a little 7-minute read.
Okay.
But I got to get ready to go check the house. These people have checked out and make sure they haven't left, money running, because most time they leave the lights on. Lights in the house, outside the house, so that's just the meter.
Yeah.
Spinning. But we'll jump back on later on this evening. I'll give you a shout.
All right.
Okay, buddy.